Once upon a time, in a dense and ancient forest, lived a clever crow named Kale. Kale wasn't just any crow. He was known throughout the forest for his sharp mind and his even sharper eyes. One scorching afternoon, while soaring high above the canopy, Kale's keen vision spotted something unusual near a village path. Swooping down for a closer look, he discovered a beautiful, ornate necklace glittering with what looked like precious stones. It must have been dropped by a traveler. What a find, he called to himself, his heart fluttering with excitement. He knew this was no ordinary trinket. Carefully, Kale picked up the heavy necklace in his beak and flew back towards his nest. High in the branches of a giant banyan tree, a the sly jackal named Zire, who was lazing in the shade below, saw the dazzling object. Zio was notorious for his greed. His eyes widened, and a cunning plan began to form in his mind. He had to get that necklace for himself. "Oh, mighty Kale," Zio called out in his most charming voice. "What a magnificent treasure you've found. It shines almost as brightly as your brilliant intellect." Kale, though flattered, was wary. He knew Zero's reputation all too well. He simply nodded in acknowledgement and tucked the necklace safely into his nest. Zero didn't give up. He spent the next few days visiting the banyan tree, showering Kale with endless praise. He complimented Kale's feathers, his powerful flight, and his melodious caw. He brought him shiny pebbles and juicy berries, all in an attempt to win his trust. "A bird of your stature deserves more than just a simple nest," Zero would say. "With a treasure like that, you could be the king of this forest. But such a valuable item is not safe up there. Thieves could snatch it while you're away." Kale listened patiently, but he wasn't fooled. He understood that Zero's sweet words were just a mask for his greedy intentions. One day, Zio came up with a new, more elaborate scheme. He approached Kale with a look of grave concern on his face. "My dear friend Kale," he began, his voice dripping with false sincerity. "I've heard whispers that a band of notorious magpie thieves are planning to raid this part of the forest. They are known for stealing shiny objects. Your beautiful necklace will be their prime target. You must hide it somewhere safer." Kale tilted his head, pretending to be worried. "Oh dear, Zero. That is terrible news. Where could I possibly hide it where no one would ever find it?" Zero's tail wagged with anticipation. His plan was working. "I have the perfect spot," he whispered conspiratorially. "There is a hollow log deep in the woods, near the winding creek. It's dark and hidden. No one ever goes there. You can store your treasure inside, and I will stand guard day and night to ensure its safety. As your loyal friend, it is the least I can do." He put on his most trustworthy expression, hoping Kale would finally fall for his trap. He imagined himself running off with the necklace the moment Kale was out of sight. But Kale, the clever crow, saw right through the jackal's deceit. He pretended to agree. "What a wonderful idea, Zero. You are truly a selfless friend. Let's do it right away." He carefully retrieved the necklace from his nest. Zero could barely contain his glee. Kale held the necklace in his beak and said, "Lead the way, my vigilant guardian." Zero trotted ahead, leading Kale through the thick undergrowth, his mind already celebrating his victory. They finally reached the hollow log Zero had described. "Here it is," Zero announced proudly, "the safest place in the entire forest." Kale hopped towards the log, the necklace glinting in the dappled sunlight. Just as he was about to place it inside, he paused. He looked at Zero, then at the log, and then up at the sky. Suddenly, with a powerful flap of his wings, he soared straight up, the necklace still firmly in his beak. He flew directly towards the nearby village, heading straight for the grandest house, which belonged to the village chief. Zero stood frozen in confusion. "Kale, what are you doing? Come back. This is the safe place," he yelped, panic rising in his voice. Kale ignored the jackal's desperate cries. He flew to the chieftain's house and dropped the necklace right in the middle of the open courtyard, where the chieftain's wife was sitting. She gasped in surprise and delight, recognizing her lost jewelry. She had been heartbroken over its loss. She immediately called out to her husband, who was overjoyed to see it returned. To show his gratitude, the chieftain ordered his servants to place a large bowl of fresh grains, nuts, and sweet fruits in the courtyard every single day for the clever crow. Meanwhile, a frustrated Xeroth had followed Kale to the edge of the village. Hiding behind a bush, he watched the whole scene unfold. He saw Kale being rewarded with a feast fit for a king. He watched as the crow enjoyed the delicious food, safe and celebrated. Zio's stomach rumbled with hunger and his heart burned with envy and regret. His elaborate plan to trick Kale had not only failed, but it had resulted in the crow receiving a permanent source of food and admiration. Defeated and humiliated, Zero slunk back into the forest, his tail between his legs. From that day on, Kale never had to worry about searching for food again. He would visit the chieftain's courtyard daily for his meal, respected by the villagers and admired by the other forest creatures. His cleverness had turned a potential problem into a lifelong reward. And what about Zero? He was left with nothing but his own greed and an empty stomach. A bitter reminder that trickery and dishonesty never lead to true success. The story of the clever crow and the greedy jackal became a legend in the forest, a lesson that true wealth comes not from what you can steal, but from wisdom and integrity. And so, Kale lived happily, enjoying his well-earned feast every day. A testament to the fact that a sharp mind is far more valuable than any glittering treasure. He proved that it's better to be wise and honest than to be cunning and greedy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tailies from around the world. We'll see you in the next video.